Hey photo friends, Phil here. Today I wanted to go through our favorite photos from last week's challenge, which was flowers, and just wanted to walk through why I picked the photos that I did, just to give you some insight on to what I'm looking at. Now, if you took part in the challenge, if you saw other photographers, other students posting photos, maybe you liked other photos better. But I wanted to just share my opinions, just hopefully to give you insight. And that's exactly what it is, an opinion. And each week, just so you know what happens, each week Sam, Will, and I take that week, and we're in charge of choosing the top photos. So this past week was my week. So let's go through them. Amazing photos, a lot of flowers. Something that I like to think about with all photography and these challenges is what's the story that is being told. And so a couple of the photos that I picked weren't just pictures of beautiful flowers. There were so many just pictures of flowers that are beautiful, amazingly composed and edited. But there were some that told more of a story, like this one. This is obviously some kind of wedding day, and the bouquet of flowers just adds to that story. It tells that story. So the flowers maybe aren't the only subject of this photo, but I love that it tells the story of this photo. Here's another one that tells a good story. So this was creative in the sense that it wasn't just this beautiful flower, but the photographer got looks like a little girl to hold the flower in her hands. She has a matching dress. So color-wise, I love the combination of colors. Also contrasting, popping out from that background. Really good lighting, good composition, great job. Here's a beautiful take on just a single flower. Beautiful bokeh in the background with those other flowers out of focus in the back. I like that the focus is pretty sharp on the center part of this flower, so that inside and the plane of petals is sharp in focus. The entire flower isn't in focus, and that's okay, and that's hard to do with a macro lens that it looks like this was shot on. But I love just this entire photo. The whole flower is within the frame, and I kind of like this diagonal line of the flowers in the background and the dark background on the other sides of it that helps this flower stand out. Here's another one. I love this. Here's one of my favorites. The photographer took a step back, didn't focus on a single flower, but of the entire story. This beautiful house, beautiful door, looks like somewhere in the Mediterranean with this beautiful, I believe that's like a bougainvillea plant. Great colors, great contrast, and just a story of how flowers can add to your environment. And it's not just one flower. Here's another one telling a great story where the flower itself is not the single subject, but we have this beautiful hummingbird getting nectar from a flower. And it's, this one just, the difficulty to get this photo, I can appreciate how good of the photographer that was to get this, and also how long it took to get this precise moment with this flower right there without a bunch of stuff in the background. Very impressive. I love this one. This just because it's a more unique flower. We saw a lot of very similar flowers throughout the post, but this one, I don't know what flower this is, but I love just the look of this flower. It's a little bit soft. I wish that it was the aperture was a little bit closed down, a higher f-stop number so that more was in focus, or maybe the focus was just off. But I can tell that all of these flowers aren't all in focus. I wish they were, but otherwise just a really unique flower, and I love this one. Here's sort of the opposite of backing up. This is going super close in to the center of a flower that is just so unique, so interesting, just a detail macro shot that I really like too. And here is sort of a different flower, but similar style of the close-up, not as close-up. You get the petals as well. I love the focus on here on the center of the flower, but you still get the lovely petals, lovely colors, contrast of the colors, nice use of rule of thirds in this photo as well. Here's another nice close-up macro shot, sort of a similar vibe, similar flower type, but just a different photo altogether. Different composition, different angle, different of what's in focus. Here you can see just the centers in focus. This one you get some of the petals in focus as well. Just beautiful all-around photo. I would print this and put it on my wall. And then this one, just sort of a different, again, just another flower, another composition, another angle, sort of a flat lay photo where the entire flower is in focus. And for this, I just love it. I love that the water is on the flower. I don't know if that was natural from the rain or sprinklers or something like that, or if the photographer took the time to actually go in, spritz a little water on it. Either way, I think it looks amazing, and the colors just pop. Perfect amount of editing, I think, to get good contrast in this photo, but really, really well done. So those were my favorite photos from the past week challenge. This week coming up is food styling. Sam is taking care of this one. So go ahead and make sure you post your photos to the Photography and Friends group. If you're not in that group, make sure that at the beginning of the course, you get the password to join that group. There's lots of fun stuff going on in that group. Great place to get feedback on your photography, get inspiration, ask questions, and all of that sort of good stuff. And all of that information is at the beginning of the photography course. Thanks a lot. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in another video. Can't wait to see your photos.